Hear ye, come one, come all. It is time. The legendary Saturday nights of the Nerd-O-Roundtable is back in the building. Yours truly, King Nerdificent Wallace Sharp, joined tonight by Ryan Twitch Master McBain. What it do, good sir?
Scrody! I knew it all along.
Along. Anthony from Two Cubicles Down is back.
Oh, I don't know if we're going to have to get a divorce or renew our vows.
Snap. And the one, the only, last but never least, Dr. Liz from the Freeway. How you doing, girl?
Hi, everybody.
Yeah. Today on the round table, we've got Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, and Secret Invasion. And only Dr. Liz and I have seen Mission Impossible. So we'll start with Secret Invasion. And I've got to say, I don't care what any of the haters have to say. I don't care what any naysayers have to say. For me, this is, as McBain would say, peak fucking cinema. This is quite possibly one of the best times I've had within the MCU watching a series like in ever. I love everything about it. I love not knowing anything and the surprises and watching where this story is going, trusting nothing and having to verify everything. Man, this is every single thing I want a series to be. McBain, what are your thoughts?
I'm upset, but I'm upset for the right reasons. Because y'all keep playing with my emotions. Okay, Talos, man. I love that character, and now he's gone. I'm assuming. Because
that was rough. That was rough. He got shanked something serious. That was rough.
That poor dude, man, trying so hard to save the president and still dies. I'm like, shit, man.
And got left on the road.
It kind of felt like he was simping for it, though.
Simping? I don't know, man.
Like
look. I don't know, man. Anthony, he's trying to save his people, keep a war from happening. You know, reunite with his daughter. He's trying to save the president, damn it.
Even his daughter's saying, like, dude, you're a fool.
Yeah, even his daughter was like, what kind of plan is that? That's a horrible plan.
I don't know how this is going to end. Okay. I don't see how Nick Fury is going to pull this off.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I mean, I guess he's going to have to go to Gaia for help.
Yeah.
No, by the way, everybody, he's not going to Coulson. There isn't going to be a quake showing up. No, it's not going to happen. Okay?
Yeah, stop the
I'm
rumor.
sorry.
It's not happening.
Stop it. I'm sorry. Graphic.
We only got 2 episodes.
2 more episodes left. Graphic. I hate your ass. Fuck you with a rusty knife. I want to know also, because I'm asking all these questions. I want to know, how long was Rhodey a Skrull? How long?
Okay, I think that he was a Skrull after Endgame, because during the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we did get to see him talk a little in the first episode. I don't remember him.
He was in it a little bit more, but he was a little weird in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
He was in the first episode.
He was in the first episode. I know he was in the last episode.
Yeah, that was weird, right?
He was in it walking fine too, by the way. He wasn't limping.
Okay, but I also, because I was, going down the tunnel and start thinking, I was thinking, because there's a conversation that's having about, like, where is he? So people are assuming that all of them are in the little pods in Russia. Now, if we are going to say that all of them are in the pods in Russia, which I don't think they all have to be, but I'm going to run with it. If they're in the pods in Russia, that means that there has to be, when was the last time that Rhodey was in Russia? And I'm going to hypothesize that this is Endgame. Because if you remember when they were doing the little check moments about where are you?
Yeah.
He was the one who was specifically looking for Hawkeye. And he was following Hawkeye all around the world. And I do believe that this is the one moment that we could get him being in Russia. However, I guess my in now, I can assume that he probably would be somewhat normal, like whoever's playing him, because it's a girl. Whoever scroll it is would probably be somewhat more like the regular Rhodey, only because it is in their best interest to keep Earth going. Like, because they want to take over Earth. So I can see them being like, I'm team everyone. I'm going to fight with everybody. I'm going to be everything and da-da-da-da. But then it all comes off the rails when he was aware that, Falcon had the
shield.
Had the shield. So it seems like, I think that he could be, my estimate, and I know that other people think that he could have done it during Civil War. I don't think it's Civil War.
No, because he fell down because he crashed and burned, and he would have changed back.
I think this is Endgame. It's either Endgame or Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I think it's after Endgame and maybe a little bit or before Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But like I said, I have no fucking idea. Also Ross. Where was Ross? Because Ross was a Skrull.
Ross.
Where was he taken?
In Wakanda. Because I do believe, but see, wait,
was Ross taken when he came back to America? Because there was something funny in the conversation that he was having with Shuri and Okoye when they approached him in the Force in the beginning of Wakanda Forever, and they were looking for the scientists. His recounting of what happened, to me was weird. His recounting of how Wakanda supposedly owed him a favor or whatever, to me, I was like, man, why is this dude acting like...
Wait a second, because now he came out, the character came out, the actor came out and said that he was officially in Wakanda Forever. So I think that he is regular dude in Wakanda Forever, but he is gone. Once they took him, I think that they know for a fact where he is. He's in Wakanda. I'm going to say that he's in Wakanda. And so therefore it's easy.
But Ross can't be in Wakanda and you have the Skrull, because the Skrulls, in order for them to, from what they're telling us in the MCU, not in comic book lore, but in the MCU, for them to assimilate you, they have to have your actual physical being and have you hooked up to one of the pods where they're able to.
No, not this dude. Not that, because he just took his likeness. This is home dudes. This is what's that guy's name? This is Fury's dude.
Ross?
So he's not hooking him up. No. This is Fury's dude. So Fury is not hooking people up in order to take somebody's likeness. This is just a temporary
but I'm saying
thing.
that the Ross that they may think that they've been working with all this time was possibly taken before the events of Wakanda Forever. Maybe after he got back.
This is Talos. Talos is just taking up different people's likeness just for a temporary thing.
No, Talos was never Ross.
Talos was Ross.
When?
In scene 1, verse
Talos was never Ross.
What are we talking about?
That wasn't Ross. I
mean, that wasn't Ross.
Talos wasn't Ross. That was a whole nother Skrull that was.
He was chasing Ross.
Talos
was chasing Ross. Talos was chasing Ross in the first episode.
The Skrull that was Ross.
Yeah.
No.
Yes,
Oh, yes. You're right.
No, you're literally wrong.
Oh my God.
I'm wrong.
Ross fell. I mean, the Skrull that was Ross fell, died, whatever, and because Talos was chasing him.
That's true. So then, how did that happen?
That's what we're saying, Liz. We're saying that Ross was probably already a Skrull in Wakanda Forever, because a lot of his actions in Wakanda Forever. No. He might have been in it, but that's where he was taken. I'm saying he was.
The way I understood it is like he didn't. The actor doesn't know. He said that he hopes that he was just always Ross, but he doesn't know for sure. My thing is this. So I've always figured that Ross was still in Wakanda because he can't go anywhere else because like he is a fugitive. So I thought he'd have to stay in Wakanda for a while. So it'd be kind of weird that he's out in Russia right now. So I don't.
Right.
But when he was in Russia, he was also kind of undercover. He wasn't just out in the open. I mean, because he's a fugitive in the U.S. And so for him to end up in Russia trying to hide and be, because he wasn't just walking down the street all willy-nilly in Russia, he was in the shadows, he was lurking, he was hiding, which at first it led me to believe that after he was freed by the Okoye, that he made his way to Russia. But then I'm like, but wait, that's
That
a
doesn't make
scroll.
sense,
So
though.
he had to have been snatched after he was
Somewhere
freed by Okoye. That
I'm gonna
Ross
need these
was
questions
snatched.
answered during this show. They're gonna have to
Yeah, I
answer
don't
these
know.
fucking questions.
Assuming that is Ross and not Scroll Ross in Wakanda Forever.
And that's the thing about the show, you don't know what's what. We may think that we know what Gravik's ultimate plan is, but we actually don't even know what that is. He may be saying, yes, I want to establish the scroll world order on Earth, but if his ultimate plan is to get super scroll powers and maybe go to the planet that is occupied and that's ruled over by the scroll overlord, I can't remember his name, but that's the character that's going to be featured in the Marvels. If he's trying to get super scroll powers to establish dominance within the scroll empire and then go back there,
But that doesn't
we
make
don't
sense
know.
if he's also trying to colonize Earth. If he's just trying to get Scroll
but again,
superpowers,
that could be
he's got
his
the
con.
machine.
His con could be starting this war and setting off shit on the planet, but ultimately could be like, I'm just gonna really get a bunch of scrolls riled up, I'm gonna get them all super powered, and we're gonna go take over this damn planet where you've got the scroll empire still sitting.
It works. That machine works. That machine can give Scrolls powers. We've seen it. It worked on him. It worked on Gaia.
Yeah.
Gaia got Extremis.
Yeah.
This was a great twist, by the way, at the beginning of that episode. It was a great twist.
Yeah, because I was so devastated that she died.
Yeah. That was dope. That was dope. That again, this series is so dope because they are spending their time telling this story right. They're not trying to rush through it. They're trying to make sure that they at least cover all the tracks and cover all the bases that they're setting forward.
You know
for
what,
me,
my
that
next
dialogue
issue-
with Fury and his wife, that shit
Yeah.
was so riveting.
Because
I'm
my
like,
issue is this:
man,
this has to get resolved somewhat because Fury's in the Marvels.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or that's the Fury you think it is.
Oh, is that Scroll Fury?
Scroll Fury.
Or maybe it was a flashback. I don't know.
Because because we also don't know when the Marvels take, like, the timeline between the events of this series and the Marvels. Is it happening at the same time? Is it happening like right before? I hope it happens after. I hope in the end of this, Fury clears his name and he's like, okay, cool, I'm going back up, to the planet or to the space base.
I gotta say one thing too. For people that are complaining that Nick Fury needed help from the Skrulls to like rise up into S.H.I.E.L.D., I keep telling these people, it's not like Nick Fury ever like formed groups, and like had people do his work for him. That's what Fury fucking does.
Yeah.
So calm down with that shit.
Yeah. Well, that's
delegation,
almost like the
and it's a trait of a good leader.
Yeah, it's literally more attempts to tear down the series, which again, you don't like it, man. Fuck you.
I like it, man. I mean,
I think this series is for a person who is a serious nerd and who's interested in looking for all the connections. Because one of the things that we have, well, some of y'all have been complaining about, is that this last sequence of events, these movies and TV series have been feeling a little disjointed, even though most of them are in their mourning period. And it's like you're trying to figure out all of these connections and all of these kind of underlying things. And for this is one of the shows that's giving you back to that configuration and trying to undermine everything that we already knew and give you your old feeling again.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I'm trying to show this comment from listener Travis Mitchell, and this is a very, very good point, that this actually could be what Valentina is going to use to establish the Thunderbolt, because if the Avengers are compromised, this could be what the government uses to say we're going to have a government sanctioned group of heroes, which the Thunderbolts, even though they are all former villains, when they come out as the Thunderbolts, there's this reform. They all have brand new names, and it's like,
right.
Hey, you've never met me before, even though, yeah, we're all freaking villains. I don't know. That would be interesting to see how this is going to spill not only into Thunderbolts, but also with them showing things like extremists in this, and how this also connects to Rhodey being gone for the most part. This ties into what will be the Armor Wars now movie. Now they're not gonna make it a series anymore, but now they're gonna turn it into a film. And if Extremis has been leaked out there, if Extremis is out there enough where Gravix has been able to find it, however he found it, it stands to reason that more of Tony Stark's secrets are out there, which is what the Armor War story was about. It's about, like, Tony Stark, after his disappearance, all of his technology fell into the hands of or actually was stolen. I believe it might have been stolen in the comics by Ghost. Ghost might have stolen it and leaked it out in the comics. I think that was the individual responsible for the Armor Wars. But yeah, no, it's how this ties into that, how this also ties into Ironheart, because Rhodey plays a role in Ironheart as well. There's a lot that this series could go for, and I like this direction of the MCU. I like this level of storytelling. Everything doesn't have to be cosmic and fantastic. I like earthbound things that is like, like you can make stuff more grounded. Even though I like the Guardians and Doctor Strange and stuff like that, I like earthbound shit. And I like stories that are big and they feel big. This feels like it's cinematic quality. Speaking of cinematic quality, I gotta say, McBain and Anthony, man, you guys need to run. Don't walk. Run to go see Mission Impossible.
Before you go to Mission Impossible, isn't it interesting that there's been some comments this week about, isn't it Bob Iger? Iger, who's made some comments about how we should not be so how they've oversaturated with these TV shows on the Disney Plus app.
No, he's actually talking more broadly about his reasons of why he can see Disney doing away with ABC and ESPN, because he's not seeing the interest in that kind of watching and people tuning in on a regular basis for things, as opposed to what he's seeing for series on the Disney Plus channel that have had lots of success. Even though, like, we didn't like the damn National Treasure show, that did have a lot of return viewing. A lot of folks did tune in.
Or Willow, for that matter.
I mean, Willow, the first episode, a lot of people tuned in for Willow. Unfortunately, a lot of people said,
it tuned in because we believed that it was going to be
good,
reminiscent of our childhood,
and it wasn't.
And they
trash.
stabbed us.
But that's what Iger is doing. Iger is his comments even on Disney Plus are in when they were asking him, why have you taken, if you have an issue with ABC and ESPN, why then are you bothering taking off so many series from Disney Plus? And he's like, whoa, hold on. I'm not taking and Hulu. He's like, I'm not taking any series off. What I've told my staff at Disney when it comes to films and these series is slow down. I want them to all be good. Everything we put out has to be the quality it was when I was in charge. Shit took a left turn and pissed a lot of people off. There are way more people who dislike a lot of stuff that has come out than people who have liked it, and that's not how this company wants to operate. He's like, if a series is not absolutely flawless, don't bother releasing it. Wait till you get it right. If a film isn't 100% and we know people are going to love it, hold the fucking phone wait a minute, we're just not doing that whack shit anymore.
By the way, there was a huge blowback about the Willow being canceled. And I
Yeah,
am still struggling
fans.
with trying to figure out what the hell they were talking about because I don't know what they were watching.
You know that those are like the same
trash.
people who are still arguing and fighting, talking about even now to this day, Netflix needs to purchase the rights to DC films and restore the Snyderverse. It's like, shut the fuck up, man. Stop it. It's just to me, I don't know. To me, it's an algorithm. It's an algorithm.
And the Runaways too on Hulu. They also removed that off Hulu.
Oh, but that was so hard to watch.
I thought it was okay. I didn't hate it or anything. It wasn't like horrible. But
I mean, clearly we've seen worse, but it definitely was.
Inhumans, yes.
Oh God,
Jesus,
Lord have mercy. There's a look. Runaways wasn't bad. I like the crossover with Runaways and Cloak and Dagger. I like when they made that happen. Cloak and Dagger wasn't a bad series. It's just, I think that they just weren't for me. Like Runaways, I was like, it wasn't 100% for me because I'm not a teenager, and so the teenage angst, it didn't do it.
I got a question. So if a show is removed from Disney Plus or Hulu, is it still canon? I'm being serious.
Oh, I don't know.
See, yeah.
I don't know.
But you do know that people were making a comment about how TV series aren't necessarily that good, and it's like, well, let's have a conversation with our they brought the Netflix series up, and it's like the Netflix series was absolutely terrific. I mean, I know that I liked Iron Fist, Violent, and I like Iron Fist. I know the rest
season
of y'all
2 of
don't.
Iron Fist, yes.
I like all of it.
Season 2 of Iron Fist was phenomenal. Shit was great.
Good.
I liked it a lot better than the whole thing than Home.
I like Iron Fist, but like
Jessica Jones season 1 was good. After that, it was like, what are you doing?
Jessica Jones season 1 and 3, I really love. Season 2, nah, get that shit out of here.
Yeah, season 2 was whack. But I mean, Daredevil, every season of Daredevil was great. Shit was.
I like Daredevil. I like Punisher. I like Luke Cage.
Yeah. I mean, we'll hopefully we'll see. I think even if you cut back on the amount of stuff that's out there, as far as releasing stuff, and you focus on quality, I would much rather have quality than have a whole bunch of stuff that's whack. I don't mind if we get 1 or 2 projects every once in a while.
Wasn't bad. It's just that,
I mean, She-Hulk was very canon.
If you did postpone, but I'm saying if you postponed it a little bit, then it would have been more polished, and it would have been a better series. Like the storyline, and I know the people because we might as well say something. The SAG and the writer's strike. Some of the comments that are taking place is how little these people are getting paid. And they're getting paid and people were explaining how little these people were getting paid on She-Hulk, because one of the writers talked about they getting paid like, I don't even think they made $1,000 on She-Hulk. Like, I mean, it was insanely small, and people were like, well, it sucked. And I was like, no, wait a second, it didn't suck. We clearly should have made this a little bit, we could have, if they would have held off a little bit, then it would have been better.
Question, and this is just me philosophizing, because I and I definitely support writers and actors and extras and everyone getting their just due, right? I definitely do. And I know that it's ridiculous that you have the Bob Igers of the world making some $23 million
more than that,
a year,
brother.
more than that. And so I'm trying to look at all sides, and it's like not everyone can be Bob Iger, because Bob Iger isn't just sitting in his office with his feet on his desk. He is in charge of everything that you see regarding Disney. That's a lot of pressure. He's in charge of hundreds of thousands of jobs. He's in charge of what's going on as far as you going to the theme parks, every movie, every series, every store you go into, anything that's happening on the website, the buck stops with him. So
Oh,
yes,
Tawala, I'm concerned about where
you do get
your comments are going.
you do get you do deserve the money that you get. Because I promise you, if I'm in charge of a global empire, you best pay me fucking millions. And that's a fact. But when I'm wondering, when you go into a job and they tell you what it is you're going to be making, if you accept that money, do you then get to turn around and say or complain about how much you're being paid? If when you were hired they said this is what we're paying you, it's not like they said I'm going to pay you X and then dropped you down to Y. No, they said we're paying you X, they're giving you X. Do you then complain? Just
Yes,
wondering.
yes, yes. You want to know
Why
why?
so?
Because I do that shit. So yes, I totally understand this. Matter of fact, the writer who wrote the episode on She-Hulk that had the return of Daredevil, his like residual check was only like less than $500. I'm like, what?
Some people, the dude from Insecure, I don't know if any of you watch it. He had 50 checks, and out of 50 checks, the total sum is $86. So
his residual money?
His residual from 50 checks total to $86. The issue is this: people are making, because of the way that residuals have been recalculated, they have not had the execs have not come to the table and been like, we're going to start giving you a fair residual check. And they're not getting residuals from Netflix. They're not getting residuals from any of the streaming.
Yes.
And they're not getting any residuals from YouTube. I mean, this is the quintessential aspect of you need to diversify your income. And the fact that people are these execs are making comments like, we're going to wait this out until they start losing their house. See, the thing is that all of the actors.
You can't say execs are saying that. An exec.
Fine.
Yes, an executive said that.
All of the issue, I mean, of all the, like, we know the big names. There's only so many Tom Cruises and Tom Hanks and Angela Bassett's and I would even pause on Angela Bassett, because some of the Black actors get paid a fraction of what white actors are getting paid. And we don't even, and some of the big names that we assume are really big names and they must have a ton of money, they ain't sitting on much money. So it's kind of an interest, which is one of the reasons why reality TV is actually sometimes people are getting paid more to go on reality TV. You're actually getting paid more to do plays, even though it's more stringent work. I just think that, yeah, they could have accepted more money, but the way that the market has changed in a way that has written them out.
Yeah, okay, but now and
so
I
don't
hear
get
that.
canceled
No,
on here.
Look, I hear that. I'm like, look, you can cancel all you want. That shit doesn't exist. My point is, I remember a point in time when record companies were literally only paying points off of albums sold, right? They're only paying points off of physical cassettes, CDs, records sold. And then all of a sudden, lo and behold, you had Soldier Boy, who was making money off of ringtones. Soldier Boy, and this is one of the first landmark cases in the music industry where you had an artist who was making money off of something that was not originally in his contracts, because that's like, yeah, no, you don't get any of this $1 million plus that I'm making off of each one of these dollar ringtones for Ring Me on My Phone. Why? Because that's not in my contract. You know what record companies did? They said, wow, you're right, Soldier Boy, you get all that money. Contracts after that, they started doing what? Writing in ringtones. The next big case that came around was a case that Eminem lobbied against his label because of digital sales. Why? Because that was not included in his deal. Digital sales, Apple iTunes and all that, that's like, that has nothing to do with physical cassette CDs or LPs. And that was the whole thing. Now, you know what record companies do? They do 360 deals, meaning we get a piece of every single thing you do. If you do a freaking commercial, if you act, if you sell a t-shirt at your concert, we get a piece of all of that. And you know what artists are doing? They are still signing contracts. If you sign a contract and you're an artist, if you sign a 360 deal, you sign it. You're putting the records out. You're on the video. You're on your award shows and all that. You're on tour. You don't then afterwards come back and say, "Hey, man, I signed this contract. This contract isn't fair." That doesn't make sense. You can't sign a contract to do a job and then, based on the lettering of the contract, and then come back and say, "Hey, I don't like this." Now you can do anything you want, but if you signed the contract and the contract details what your compensation is going to be, what is the argument about then?
Well, now the contract has expired when it comes to the strike. So now,
yes, that's a great point, and that's I guess that is why they're saying, "Oh, no, we're not going for the okie doke."
And also, don't get me started on this whole AI thing, because these like studios want to own your likeness and only pay for 1 day. Get the fuck out of here.
Let me tell y'all something right now. Let me tell you something right here, right now, and y'all already know y'all gonna laugh at me. I am all over divorce court. I am in the background on divorce court. They gave me all of like $72, and they still owe me $74.50, and they still haven't paid me.
Get all your money.
A month, like 3 weeks ago, right? So I'm still trying to get in contact with them on that. But here's the thing. I've been doing it for 3 years. They have used my face all over Facebook. Like, you have seen me all over Facebook, all over YouTube in ads in the background. I get my people are, will message me constantly. I have students who will message me like, "Is that you?" And I have been in so many divorce court ads. For this divorce court currently, the next, I'm sure I'll be in the next one. And in the last divorce court seasons, for 3 seasons, I am all over. I have only made $72.50 from those 1 days that I've been in it.
Now,
and
okay, here's my question, Liz.
All over plaster. I'm not upset
fantastic.
About it, but I'm just telling you that I get not there 0 residuals.
Now, did you, when you first signed up to do that background work?
I signed it. I'm not getting.
No. But I mean, to me, that's kind of like, I wonder if you are an extra and you show up to work. If you're an extra and you show up to be in the background scene of some big movie, and they like your look, saying, "Ryan, this tall black man with the beard, we need to digitize that look." And if Ryan signs paperwork that says, "Yes, I'll take this $186 check today," and in the fine print it says, "We can use your likeness forevermore," and he still signs it and still shows up to work, well, then that's on Ryan. That would be on Ryan. Look, Ryan can't years later be like, why am I in the background of this movie?
This is not my bread and butter. I am not living. I can't live off of $74.50. But these are people's bread and butter. And I do think
it's rough.
That it is not necessarily fair for them to y'all's show that y'all like, Stranger Things. There's one actor who's been playing in it. They've been cutting up some scenes from this one time that the person's gotten paid, and they hadn't made another dime from it. They made only a couple $1,000s from it. And it just seems maybe it's legal, but it doesn't seem ethical that you continue to keep using them in future episodes, and they find themselves credited in all these other things, and they ain't making not 2 cents from it. But these people are making millions from it. It doesn't seem ethical.
I hear all arguments. I'm just curious if you sign on the dotted line, because the lure of fame is something serious. People want to do background extra work. Everyone wants to get their script on a series. Everyone wants to have their face on screen because of what? The lure of Hollywood. Everyone wants to be in Hollywood.
Actors are not necessarily are people who make under $26,000 a year.
Look, being
and that's not just extra work. Those are people who say words.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that they, 86. They ain't making much.
They're not.
I think that people who do not live in California don't realize
are they
this.
stepping up to do it? If this is what you want to do, if this is the industry, if the industry is saying, hey man, look, your work is only worth X, Y, and Z, and you still show up to do it, and you
I
still
get
show
what
up
you're
to do
saying,
it.
but I'm saying that people out of California don't realize that I mean, I hate to say this, but if you live in Southern California, there is a strong propensity that you probably could easily get into film or something entertainment on somebody's television or anything connected, right? Like it's very simple. But people assume that you're making a considerable income because there are people who are making a crap load of money off of the backs of like paupers. And so people assume outside of California that people are making a lot of money, and they just aren't, which is why we have a strike.
No, I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case, because you see these you see these MC Hammers, you see all these actors who go bankrupt, and they're the ones earning the millions of dollars. Okay, it's when there's a gold rush, you don't want to be the miner. You want to be the person selling the pickaxes and the forks and the shovels. Yep. That's where you want to be. So the people who are making all these millions of dollars are the decision makers, and they're not on screen. They're not the face of the movie. They're the ones making the money. They're the ones calling the shots, and they're the ones who are in charge.
I agree with you, Anthony, but I'm saying that people online are posting all of the actors, the people who are on screen, the faces, they're the ones who are trying to explain, because people are looking at this outside of California, and they're thinking that these are some uppity rich folks who are complaining because you have your fringe rushers who made a considerable amount of money, and all of these wealthier people who are complaining and are standing, Matt Damon, all of them standing next to them, but they don't realize that for every Matt Damon, there's like 3,000 other people who are making like not even 50,000, but you know what I mean? Yeah. So they're trying to post all of this online to get more people to realize that we're not bratty by saying that we want to have a living wage.
But there's your issue though. They're all in the same union.
I get it.
So the weight of Matt Damon in the union has the same weight of somebody else when it comes to the vote. They get the same vote. It's one vote.
I believe once you sign the contract, you have to abide by it. That's why they're fighting so hard, because they know if they don't get a good deal, they're screwed. Yeah. Now, in my job, it doesn't say like, "Hey, Ryan, we can't give you a raise." No, I ain't signing shit like that. So
no,
I got a better contract.
And that to me, Ryan, you know what you just said? I know my worth. If you know your worth, when you get that call to show up on set, it's I can't show up on set because I'm not getting X, Y, and Z. And now here's the problem. The problem is, because of the lure, the desire to have that role, to be on screen, there are very few people who are turning down anything except they collar. People are showing up, and a lot of the, like to your point, Liz, a lot of the black actors who are not getting paid, a lot of female actresses who are not getting paid the same as their male counterpart in the same damn film. They're co-stars of the film. And for the longest, you had women who weren't getting paid the same, but they were still showing up to set. They didn't say, well, I'm not going to do it. That's it. Because if you go to set anyway, then what are you saying to the studios?
Yeah, but
you're saying,
you realize
I'll take
that
it.
all of us in here has all interned and has taken some piss poor, pathetic job because you need something on your resume.
Beyond the resume.
You need something. You need to work. You got to start at the bottom. Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
Yes.
Right. And so I'm not angry that people are starting at the bottom and are taking, like a piss poor amount of money in order to possibly become. But the issue is that for every, Issa Rae, every Issa Rae, there's a bazillion people who are clawing their way up to get, to the thing, which is leading to Ryan posted on Twitter, which is going to be the next fight, which we're watching. The scabs. People are crossing the picket line.
You know,
content
are they
creators,
scabs or are they
they're
people who
called
want to work?
scabs.
I know
They're
they're.
scabs.
I know that's the
They
I
are
slur
know the
against
scabs.
word.
them,
They're
and
scabs.
they're
Scabs.
crossing the line.
That's
But
what
again,
that's gonna do for them.
yeah.
That's
I mean,
gonna get them the exposure they need.
And then
But
once
it
the
I
strike
just
is
also,
know
over, they're not going to get any
know
work.
they're not going to get any work. But I
Yeah.
know in the music industry, you only have a handful of Kid Capri's and Biz Marquis, rest in peace. I don't mean to bring Biz's name into this, but you only have a handful of DJs that you know. Outside of that, you have a bunch of DJs who are trying to get the club, trying to get in Vegas, trying to do this, then the other, and they're like, you know what? I'll do it for less
okay,
than
but I'm gonna
the
tell
big
you
name.
this. I'm
I'm
gonna
just
tell you
saying.
this. I hear them, and whoever content creators that you're listening, because I am one. We all are one.
Yeah, yeah.
Content creators. I'm letting you know right now that I am not trying to get on the George Clooney's, the Matt Damons, the the Angelina Jolie's, the Brad Pitt's bad side, because they are the ones that are also producing, and they are saying
Mhm.
that they are going to block you from SAG. If this is your intent and
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
trying to get into SAG, they're going to block you from getting in,
yeah.
and that is going to limit. You may get some money right now, which you need, but your long-term money is not going to happen.
I mean, look,
Yep.
if that
Well, that's
if that's the long, because if you're going after social
Them the rules,
media
by the way.
influencers, if you go after the influencers, and individuals who could also influence a huge swath of people to shit can your project, because if you turn social media against you, which is why I just think it's dangerous for them to try to go after individuals on social media, because if we're giving social media all this power and you go after social media and say you bet not promote anything that's happening right now because you're crossing me, then you are going to do what? Go back to them after everything is all fine and dandy and say, hey, I need you to promote this?
No, they're if these scabs, and they are scabs, if you do that, you're done. They're screwing themselves. So I mean, and people hate scabs. They
They
do.
do. They do.
So
Yeah, I mean, look,
Like I don't cross picket
I
lines.
hear it, but I think that I'm just looking at from a
But
realistic
I also
perspective.
look
I
at it
think
from
there are
another.
way too many others than there are those individuals. There are way
But
too
I
many
am going to
other
say
people
this
who are
about
out
the.
there.
I also want to say this, and I know we need to move on, but I am going to say this though, is that I was listening to Kev on Stage Studios, and he was
Mm,
explaining how ad revenue has kind of dried up for content creators in a
mhm.
significant way,
Yep.
post starting actually in January of this year, because because people are returning more to television, and so they're going back to their TV model of putting all their ad dollars, and so people are beginning to see, like podcasters and content creators are beginning to see this shrivel up in ad money, and now they're making a third of what they were making a year ago. So people are so this is where it's a catch-22. People are desperate, and these big money people know that these people are desperate and need a couple dollars in order,
Mm,
and they also need somebody to promote their film. So it's a double-edged sword, where it's a perfect storm for people to take some money to promote their movie and to talk about their movie, since the actors aren't willing to do it. But on the other hand, I am Team Ryan. I am not crossing the picket line.
No, hey, look, there's definitely, look, there's no one would tell I don't encourage anyone to cross a picket line. I and, I hear every single complaint and argument and issue that writers of whom I know many, and extras of whom I know many. I hear the arguments. I hear what you're saying. It was kind of, I was philosophically thinking, what is the end goal, and if everything is written down in black and white, then is there actually an argument is kind of like my issue. And I know, again, everyone wants to be in Hollywood, but
Yep.
very few people know what that means. And I think once people get into it and they see it's literally Hollywood Boulevard is scummy, it is
It is.
filthy, it is shit on the streets and blood on the stars. So when you get there and see it, you go, oh, this is not what I thought it was. The individuals who are in charge of business, they're all about the business. In the music industry, most A&R individuals are no longer people who know music. They are who? Lawyers that do what? Draft contracts to sign an artist and get their life locked up forever, because that's
Well,
what the businesses do. Do
and we're
we
not going to
fault
have a
businesses for
Comic-Con.
being businesses, or do we say, hey, read the fine print? Which one is it? Is it the fault of companies trying to make more money in this capitalistic society? Is it their fault, or is it our fault for buying into it,
Well, it
for
looks like we're not going to
wanting
have
it?
it. Probably not going to have an Emmy if this keeps going up,
Yeah,
going
who
on.
watches the Emmys? Emmys was already whack.
We're not going to have a Comic-Con. That's already been.
No, Comic-Con is happening, but you know what Comic-Con is returning to? It is returning more to its roots, where people are going to meet comic book creators, where they're going to the panels to hear about this, that, and the other, because Comic-Con is still happening, but all the looky-loos who are there for the star sightings and all that, they may not be there, but individuals who want to check out the booths, who want to meet some new up-and-coming writers, who want to go to some of the panels to hear about how some of this stuff that we love has been created, they will have a great time. And hopefully, maybe instead of 100,000 people there who know nothing about comic books but just want to see a star, maybe it'd be some 30,000 people who actually care about the craft.
Well, I hope
I don't
that
know.
you talk to the people who are who's going to be losing some money, because I know your $20 Subway sandwich is going to be sad.
Oh, look, that's what they're gonna. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna charge regular Subway prices. That, because that will level the playing field. Because if you know you're not having those people, you can't be in there like Subway sounds $20. Oh no, you're gonna have to be like, hey man, look, my bad. I'm playing. It's regular foot long price, man. My bad. Because
$5
that
foot
will even it
long.
down. I'm just saying. And again, look, I know we're huge fans of the content that comes out, the shows that we watch, the films that we go see, and yes, this hurts because those people that we support, whose careers we support, they're being hurt, and these projects are being, when I found out that Deadpool 3 was getting, was on hold after they released those Wolverine images, I was like, motherfucker. But eventually, it's gonna be about who can hold out the longest, because there are a lot of high level artists, high level, writers who have been making lots of money, who will be able to hold out a lot longer than those hundreds of other people, Liz, that that are making only $20,000 a year doing extra work, walking into the office saying, hey Bob, there's a lot more of them than there are the Matt Damons. There's only one Matt Damon. There's a whole lot of Matt Mickelsons who's just, in the background scene in Matt Damon's movie. So it's going to be about ultimately who can hold out the longest, because eventually a lot of these individuals who are not balling out of control and don't have, a whole plethora of movies to fall back on, they're going to start talking up. They're going to start saying, hey man, we're going to have to start negotiating quickly. I just feel that the pressure is going to get deep, because that one asshole of a executive, I believe he was from Warner Brothers, who made that comment like, we'll wait him out. I kind of tend to believe that the studios may be able to wait them out. I do believe that there is some truth to that. It sucks that he would say that, but this industry is fucked up. Music, radio, television, film. It is a lot of really fucked up shit that happens behind the scene. There's a lot of people who deserve a shot who are passed the fuck over. There are people who come in and show other individuals how to do a job, only to say, hey, thanks for coming in and showing them everything you know. We're going to go on and give this to this other guy. And you're just like, what happened? McBain knows what I'm talking about.
I think Talala took a turn.
So I'm just saying.
I think Talala took a turn.
No. I'm just saying. I believe that there's a lot that people don't know about the industry, and
keep it moving on to Mission Impossible.
Shit.
I didn't watch it. We all probably go talk about that.
Oh. Mission Impossible. Look, I'm gonna say this. Mission Impossible. I felt like I had run the Rose Bowl a couple times because, damn it, I was so exhausted by the time I was done with that film. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time, and I could not relax. That film did not let go of you, not 1 minute. It is by far the best film for me personally that Tom Cruise has done. Tom Cruise, they put foot to ass with Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. The stunts, the intensity, the acting, the story, the relevancy to where we are with the rise in AI. This fucking film was so dope, beautiful to watch. Man, I don't know. Stress is the word. Stress
2 hours and 45 minutes, and it went by so quick. And I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, there is a couple of scenes. One scene alone that had me just like, huh, is that the train scene when the train blew up, and then they trying to move from train cab to train cab and not fall down. I was like, oh my Lord, are they gonna make it?
That shit was stressful. Hey, watching that motorcycle scene and how it unfolded in the film and how it all played out.
Right.
It's actually more stressful when you're watching it in the film. That shit is, it's Jesus, come on. It's like, you're just like, oh no, don't do it. And then when he does, you're just like,
it's quiet, and it's just super quiet when he does it. I don't know. I was like, the car scene, I was like, I don't know how they're gonna make it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then the fact that the girl keeps ditching him, I was like, can we just knock her out and drag her? It was a lot.
I will absolutely say you have got to see Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. It sets a high bar for spy thrillers, for the world of James Bond and Jason Bourne and all that. This film really sets a high bar. Tom Cruise has not lost a step. There was a lot of surprising moments of real genuine connection and humanity in this story that I was like, wow, dude, I actually feel the emotion that you're putting out there. Everyone that was in it, I thought not Emilio Estevez, damn it, Isai Morales. I thought he was a phenomenal villain. He was a phenomenal villain. Is it Palm Khalif? Is that how you pronounce her last name?
Yes.
Yeah. She was a dope villain. She was dope. Ving Rhames, homeboy who plays the nerd, the Star Trek dude. Can't remember.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, when the bomb.
Simon
we
Pegg?
were trying to figure out for him to figure out how the bomb, and I was just like,
yo, Liz, I thought I was about to cry. I was like, yo, Liz, I thought they was about to kill somebody, and I was gonna cry because I was sitting there like, Jesus, please don't kill this dude like this. This could be so fucked up. Don't do this. Don't do this.
We just blow everything up, and then to do all the bomb, and then there was no bomb in it. I was just like, I cannot. This movie it went from one sit on the edge to the next sit on the edge. Like, it was no time to breathe, to be like, okay, let's take a breath. Take a breath. Like, there is no breath in this movie.
No, I think there's like maybe 2 or 3 30-second scenes of just where it's just like, okay, so what are we doing next? And then they do it, and you're like, shit, man, I thought I was gonna get a break.
And then when Ving Rhames was like, I gotta go.
Yeah,
I was like, you gotta go.
Yeah, I felt it. There's a scene. Ving Rhames, he had the bell. No, there was a lot and this is only part 1. Part 2 is the way they ended this. It's like, shit, yeah, sign me up, take my money. I cannot wait for part 2. Again, I saw this film. I went in at 11:10, and I think I got to my car Look, by the time I got home, it was like 4 a.m. So it's a long ass experience. Period.
It
With the
was,
trailers,
but here's the thing. I
yeah,
know, but
it
Anthony,
was
but
tough.
here's the thing. I know it's long, but it doesn't feel like it. Like the other ones, you felt every single minute, but this you didn't feel it because it's an adrenaline rush. Like I was just
Mm.
like, huh, wait, pause, give me a second, and then it's the next. Like I mean, they go from the car race, which was kind of hilarious because she couldn't really drive in a car race, which to me is relatable because if you put me in a car chase, I know my adrenaline is going up, but I'm not. I may not be able to function like you're supposed to function in a car race, and so when they flipping over, and then they don't know how how they changed, and she has to drive, and and all of this, and then they end up staying, and then once you get 2 seconds of a breath, the train comes, and now he has to figure out how to get out before he gets smushed by a train. It was a lot.
It was a lot. Very dope. Very dope. And I know, look, Anthony and Ryan, y'all didn't see it. But what did y'all see? Ryan, what have you seen this week?
I've just been watching Star Trek Discovery, trying to catch up with that.
Oh,
Also,
yeah.
I just found out today that they're coming out in a couple weeks and a game about the Expanse.
Really?
Video game. Yes, an Expanse video game that's coming out, I think, on July 25th. I'm like, oh, okay. I will buy that. So I'm interested in those two things. But basically, other than that, I just been.
But did you finish The Expanse?
See,
No.
like you worried about certain details that I don't have to worry about all that. All right, don't worry about all that. Okay,
Don't worry about that. All right,
don't worry about all that. But yeah, just watch.
Too
just
much
watching Star Trek.
details.
Too much details.
What you watching, Anthony?
I'm just watching Secret Invasion, keeping it simple.
Oh, nice. Looking forward to Ahsoka. Those Ahsoka trailers are absolutely
Fire.
phenomenal. Fire. What you watching, Liz?
I'll say that I'm watching one good thing. I
Just
am
one
watching.
thing.
Yeah, because I'm
Apple
watching
TV.
some. Okay, I can do the Apple TV. Apple TV. What came back this week is well, actually, let me start with the bad thing first. Sex and the City spinoff. And what's so fascinating about this is that there's a collective hate. The fans have collectively coalesced around the hatred of season 2, and just like that. And so it's kind of an interesting thing. I wonder if this is going to have another season because we're all still collectively watching it and hating it collectively together. Foundation came back, and I know this is Tom's show on Apple TV. I still don't like it, maybe because I didn't read the book. But something else came back as the After Party on Apple TV, and I do like the After Party. The After Party, it's a crime show, and so I really do like the crime show aspect. But as I recommended last week, Warrior is back. Warrior is fantastic.
Oh, gotta check that out. Yeah,
it is so good. It is like I think up to episode 5, and it's another one that I'm just like, oh, this must be the last series. This must be the last season because I am exhausted by watching what is taking place and seeing what is happening. I have no idea how they get out of the situations that they're in. That's it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check out Warrior. There's a series, an animated series that started on Max, My Adventures with Superman.
Is that good?
Not really. Not really. And here's the thing. I really want to. I like the animation. But they're doing yet a different take on Superman's origin, and so far, like 3 episodes in, it's not really a good Superman adventure. It's, I guess, if you've never ever seen a Superman film or series or read a comic book, it's a good maybe starting point for someone who wants to see Superman and get introduced to him. But Superman, he's roommates with Jimmy Olsen, and him, Jimmy, and Lois are all starting as interns at the Daily Planet, and they're trying to do their bestest to get noticed by who is it, Perry White, and he's, get out of here, you interns, and they're like, but we've got a story, and it's like, I don't want to see your story. And then now there's been the first sighting of this man. It's not Superman yet, but it's this guy who's, you know, he's disguising himself, but he does superhero stuff. And Lois Lane, first episode, is like, we're gonna get the scoop on this Superman, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is just not good. And it doesn't really get better. But I am curious. I'm more now addicted just because I've already started. So outside of that, look, I gotta get back to my. It's bad, but I'm still watching. It's not Titans bad. It's not Titans bad. Okay. It's definitely not that. It's just not. I expect a lot more from DC animation. I expect just everything to be stellar. And this to me is kind of like, what else do we have that we can put out while we're waiting for James Gunn to launch, you know, his thing? And that's why they're putting this out. It's kind of like, well, look, we'll give them the Superman show, we'll give them this, we'll give them that. They're gonna keep giving us stuff. And yeah, so I don't know. I guess I'm waiting for something really good to happen.
Everything that's every DCEU, whatever the hell it is, that's been released before Superman Legacy is non-canon. So
good.
That's all good. That trash is being wiped out. So that's good.
That's good. I'm still not gonna watch The Flash. I don't even care if there's a bootleg out there. I'm not giving it the time of the day.
There's no need at this point. None of it matters.
None of it matters. Exactly. So I'm like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
Why am I gonna waste another 2 hours?
Yeah, no, not gonna do it.
But I do think that is it? Help me pronounce it. Is it Kazazi Moto on Disney Plus?
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. I did watch that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I did watch that. It's a short series of Afro futuristic stories. All the stories are told in different parts of Africa, and it's all this super futuristic look. Some are stories of what if, you know, this part of Africa was never conquered. Other stories are about, you know, a tribe that finds a root that allows them to heal, but they become fish people. And there's a lot that's happening. Different animation styles. It's basically like it is akin to Star Wars. Not Clone Wars. What's the series?
Rebels?
No, not Rebels. No, the anthology series. It's just offshoot stories.
Oh, Visions.
Visions. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's akin to Star Wars.
15 minutes. They're short.
Yeah, very short. That's very dope. That's definitely worth a watch. And I finished that just in a day. Like I finished that like in like hour and a half or so. I was like, boom, next one. They go by quickly. Very fun story.
By the way, Rocky Giles may ask the question is how do they still find people to insure these films? He's talking about Mission Impossible. I don't know. But
hey,
Tom Cruise makes it happen.
Yeah, and you know what's really dope about Tom Cruise is now that I've seen that motorcycle stunt happen, I really appreciate the fact that this dude sat down with the stunt coordinator, the first stunt coordinator who, when he explained what he wanted to do, the stunt coordinator said, nah, man, we can't do that. That's too dangerous. And he said, okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to leave my set because you're fired. I'm going to go find a stunt coordinator who says, yeah, we can do it. Here's how. And he did it. And that shit was dope. And it's the first thing that they shot in that film, knowing that if it went wrong, there's no need to go back to set because Tom Cruise is dead. And the amount of sheer motorcycles that had to have been destroyed, because that cliff, when you see it, takes your damn breath away. That's like and he did that stunt 7 times. That's 7 motorcycles that you're never ever going to get back, plus a train, plus an entire city full of cars, plus every other fucking thing that was destroyed. Mission Impossible is that movie.
It was a lot. I cannot wait to see the next one. You know, this is a trend. You know, we having some major cliffhangers. I mean, what is Mission Impossible coming out next year?
Oh, I don't know. I hope Dead Reckoning. Look, there ain't really nothing else coming out. Since Dead Reckoning was shot back to back, they might as well drop it next year because there's a lot of stuff that's not coming out anytime soon.
Nothing really.
Prayerfully, hey, look, seriously, no.
Prayers
in the air that the strike, that they do figure this out and that both sides are able to come to the table and that the writers
Yeah.
and the actors are made whole, and that we can get back to enjoying that content.
Wicked was 10 days away from ending,
Hmm.
and then the strike.
Yeah, well, shit happens.
But I will say that I am now understanding why Tom Cruise is angry that Oppenheimer and Barbie, I know that y'all not the crew, but Barbie are dropping next week because
Every studio should be upset about every single film released this summer because everyone is crushing everyone else. Everything is crushing everything.
except the Flash.
It's a gluttony of releases, and no one's really got time for that. We're gonna see what we're gonna see. I know Anthony he's saving up his 3-hour film window for Oppenheimer. Liz, will you be seeing Barbie?
I have no choice.
Okay, well there you go. You'll be
I
seeing
have
that,
a kid who doesn't even like Barbie, but
wants to see
she
it.
claims that
Mhm.
she wasn't a Barbie person, but now all of a sudden she was.
Well,
But
look, we will not be back next week for Oppenheimer and Barbie. We'll probably be back the week after for the season finale of Secret Invasion, which should be phenomenal. And Ryan and Anthony can drop that Oppenheimer news, and Liz can go on with Barbie and whatever the hell else.
I'm watching
is out there.
Oppenheimer.
I'm not watching Oppenheimer.
Well, there we go. We got two of y'all to
Are you
review
gonna
that
watch
as well.
Mission Impossible, Ryan?
Maybe. I mean, it looks good. I'll probably watch it at home, but it looks good.
Yeah.
Oh, you should watch it, and you should go to the movies to watch it.
You'll be all right, Ryan. You'll be all right. All right, y'all. With that, Anthony, take us out, good sir.
Good news, everybody.
Big Bang.
Writers, actors, hold the line. E-Bombay. E-Bombay. E-Bombay.
Dr. Liz.
I'm out.
Excelsior. Yeah.